Welcome to On the Spot. I'm here today with fellow Canadian, big baseball fan, Larry Peralta. Is that right?
Paletta.
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 Following the spelling,
There you
but
go.
we met from Clubhouse a while ago, and today's opening day of baseball, so we're gonna have him on the guest on the spot. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Larry, and we'll go from there. Floor is yours.
Yeah, no, I actually threw in my junior in the name. I saw you were a
Oh,
junior, so I'm also I'm also I'm also a junior. So Larry Paletta worked with Remax up here, Southern Ontario, kind of at the we call it the Golden Horseshoe, kind of between Toronto and Niagara Falls, Buffalo,
okay.
right in the Hamilton, Burlington area. Been a realtor almost 20
Wow.
years. Yeah, I've been avid sports fan too. So, you throw anything football, baseball, hockey, college, whatever,
Okay.
right? I can shoot the
All
stuff.
right.
But yeah, no, married, two kids. So, um, I've lived in Quebec, Alberta, Nebraska. Uh, so I've been around the hood a little bit.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
all good.
Cool. All right. We'll start with the question. You ready for on the spot? You ready to go?
Oh, buddy,
Okay.
fire it
All right.
up.
What are your thoughts on the real estate market? Going with the president and what's been happening. I know you have an election coming up, I heard. So, what are your thoughts on that as far as going forward?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as you guys know, Trump didn't like our guy Trudeau, but now John Carney's taken over, and he's saying all the right things, removing some carbon tax and some of this other stuff. So I think the Liberals might take it. He's called a snap election. We're going to probably go to the polls and I don't know, probably in about a month. I think it's April 28th.
Okay.
So um, here in Canada, because Ontario, where I am, like where Toronto is, when that's PC or conservative, usually the federal guys have got to be the opposite party. So that's why I think the new guy that's going to replace Trudeau is going to win, and then you have Doug Ford with the conservatives are going to stay in Ontario. Just I guess it's checks and balances, you know.
Uh,
But I mean, we talked off camera about some stuff uncertainty. I think Canadians have a little bit more uncertainty than Americans, and I think we sit on the fence in terms of buyers, not maybe sellers, but mostly buyers. If I had more buyers right now, I'd be laughing. But it's just they're just very hesitant right now. Prices are still up, and the rates are still up, but it's a time to buy.
gotcha. Good thoughts. You want to share a struggle growing up or business wise?
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I just got through one, probably the worst one I've had in about 6 years, where we bought something last December and closing actually today. It was supposed to close today, and we put his house on the market late January, and we couldn't sell it. He had his struggles, so it got a little. And I've done 9, 10 transactions with this client, and sometimes when people are put to the edge, almost like during COVID, you see their real stripes, right?
Yeah.
So he kind of threw some liberties at me here and there, right? And I don't have too many boundaries with him. He texts me, I text him back. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
he ended up getting an extension, but I mean, check out this extension. He had to fork over $200,000 unrefundable,
Wow.
right? And some 65-day per diem until it closes. So he really wanted this house. So that was a struggle. It's just when you know somebody for a long time and there's
Mhm.
tension, it can get a little, just your inside gut starts to stir a little
Gotcha.
bit.
Yeah. You want to share a quote with us?
Oh, a
Yeah.
quote. That wasn't on your list, bro.
What's it?
Let me think about that one.
Okay.
Hit the
All
next
right.
one.
What are you watching as far as favorite TV show? Netflix or Apple or what do you like out there?
Um, binging the whole Yellowstone trilogy,
Okay. That's the first.
88, 23.
Okay.
Yeah. Somebody hooked me on to Night Agent. I've been binging that.
Okay.
The The Chosen.
Yeah.
So yeah, not too many movies, but mostly shows. I'm always asking people what are they
Yeah.
watching.
Cool.
Uh,
Um, what about well, yeah, sure, a couple things I'm watching. Pat McAfee. I watched Bachelor. I saw. I heard this one about World War II is pretty good. It goes to the
uh,
whole after the Hiroshima thing. So, but I checked
right.
that out. But yeah. So
I watched actually I lied. I did see him. It was an Auschwitz type
okay,
movie. I'm a bit of a history
okay,
buff, right?
yeah,
So it was it was the guy that it was the tattooist.
okay.
That was it. He was the guy that was his job. He would tattoo the numbers
Wow,
on the people's hands or wrists, and that was a job that almost guaranteed you
yeah, yeah,
life,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
a decent movie.
Cool. Um, so who's on your basketball Mount Rushmore?
Well, listen, I've been thinking about this for a couple of days, and I think someone has to go to the generation that they grew up with,
Yeah,
right? I mean, four is just not enough, and for me, I'm a Gen Xer, so I mean, I think I have to go Bird, Magic, Jordan, and maybe a half a guy with LeBron uh,
Curry,
and a Curry.
Curry.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, it's a that is. I mean, you can get into Walton and Chamberlain and Russell and things like
yeah.
that, but I'm done. I never saw them play. Well, oh, some of the guys, but not too much of
Yeah.
them.
So who's your goat in basketball?
Basketball. I mean, I think it's got oof. Oh boy, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it with Jordan.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it with Jordan. I mean, some of those guys they were still like trailblazers too,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know they say Bird Magic kind of saved the league back in the day,
Hmm.
right? And then now it's just kind of taken off. And I was like, I follow the Celtics, right? And I was just watching the game last night. I mean, Steve, these aren't 3-pointers. They're throwing up four pointers.
They're deep.
Like
Yeah,
it's they're 2 to 3 feet behind the 3 point line, and everybody. I think they had 3 pointers in the first quarter, and they're about 79 threes from breaking the Warriors record this year
wow.
about most threes in a game. So, I mean, they're just long. It is a different game. You don't need to crash and bang
Yeah.
anymore.
So we got baseball starting the opening day. I know you're big Dodgers fans. What are your thoughts on the season and robo umps and stuff like that as far as the season starting? What do you think?
Well, you know what I mean. I'm sitting pretty. I mean, well, we're spending the money,
Yeah.
right? And it's like Mr. Flaherty said, the guy who kind of helped us in the pitcher that helped us last year. He was going, and I know he was frustrated. Nobody was signing him, but he goes, "Don't hate on the Dodgers. Hate on the other 31 teams that aren't spending any money."
Mm,
Right
yeah.
now, I know the Dodgers they got that new system, and now you're going to see 2, 3, $500 million contracts going up. But you got to like their chances. I mean, they've run into a lot of pitching uh, unfortunate unfortunate
Yeah.
stuff. But if they can run a 6, 7 man rotation, I mean that's kind of unheard of. Mookie Betts looks okay. He had a weird illness, dropped like 20 pounds,
Yeah.
right?
He's
So
playing. I think
no,
he's playing now.
listen,
Yeah.
yeah, he is. I think he played the other day, and opening day. It's always nice. Everybody's 0-0,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So how do you like your Giants there?
We're young and good. I know Posey got that role as a in the GM and stuff like that. So he's put some defense and made fundamentally sound. So I think we'll be good. We got some young stars and Aldridge Wait in the wings. So it's gonna be a good, fun, energetic season, and it should be good. I'm hoping to see if you. I'm going up in days, so I'll be there. But yeah, it should be good. You know.
Now, when you see something like the Dodgers, just like back in the day, like the Montreal Canadiens used to get all the French hockey
Yeah.
players, and the Leafs used to get the Ontario stuff. Do you see like what is your real feeling about like all the Japanese going to Los Angeles?
I think it's the money. I think it's the market. I think LA is like a destination. If they're not New York, and they can come down there and they can have a good fan base and launch their endorsements and stuff like that. So I just see it,
Mhm.
and it's favorable. You know, just it just seems more LA Hollywood, and they see that fame. So
Yep, and like the trail's already been blazed,
yeah,
right? Now you have 3 Japanese there, a
yeah,
Korean in
yeah,
there, so it looks like that's like
yeah,
the easiest one. I mean, listen, that might change in 15 years. My only fear is that there's no North Americans on the Dodgers in like 5 years,
know.
right?
Yeah, crazy.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of the fear.
Um, okay. Let me ask you this. Are you watching March Madness? What are your thoughts on that? And did you do a bracket this year?
I did not do a
Yeah.
bracket. My team, listen, I can tell you, all the teams that I
Yeah.
follow are like circa 1980, and I haven't changed.
Okay.
So listen, my TV, I had four stations.
Okay.
I had ABC, NBC, CBS, and PBS with Mister Rogers and Sesame Street. So
Okay.
only the teams that were good got on the tube, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a Michael Jordan, I'm a Tar Heel fan, but I think I didn't do a bracket, but I mean, I haven't seen the bracket, but I think if Florida and Duke align,
Yeah.
I think those are the heavies.
Yeah. So I have my final two. I've got Houston, Florida, Duke, and Auburn. So,
Yeah, I think Flag comes out, right? I mean, do you think he's done?
well, he wants to stay. So interesting to see if he gets the title, he may go, but I think he might just
Yeah.
stay again. But I mean, it'd be hard for him to leave. I mean, like
Oh, yeah.
everything's there. So
I know.
we'll see.
I know.
Um,
Yeah.
what's something you did that you didn't do in the pandemic that you still use today?
Well, I think what we're doing right
Yeah.
now, whether it's Riverside, Zoom, Meet,
Yeah.
Teams, and that's been good.
Yeah.
I found I've been probably more domesticated, right? I'd be showing houses and stuff, and you get those teacher types
Yeah.
and or those OCD people, and you walk into their kitchen and they got the menu for the week or the menu for the month. I'd be like just like shaking my head,
Yeah.
right? Because some of us wing it,
Uh-huh.
and here I am, right? Like it's just trying, getting the meal, say, hey, honey, what's going on? What are we having tomorrow night? Take it out of the freezer. So, and then I found myself like, doing laundry, you know what I mean? And just kind of do more stuff like
Yeah.
that. Right. And I just think but the other thing is, it just, well, probably just from my last client that I did, it's like COVID really changed people a lot.
Yeah.
Right. Or at least, like if you were a guy that was a bit of a slob and stuff like that, and all of a sudden COVID comes in, next thing you know, you're like Mr. Picky with the mask, and all of a sudden you're a germaphobe,
Yeah.
right? You're sitting there rolling in crap, and now you're a
Yeah.
germaphobe, right? So, I mean, that's what I thought. And then just seeing people, I think, you catch stuff on social media where somebody's just grabbing crap at Walmart and just throwing it down an aisle. People are just, they got like, there's just no control. And if me and you worked at Walmart, we're not going to stop them.
Yeah.
And we're not going to take that chance of getting hit or getting hurt. So people are just like free liberty of just doing whatever they want, and they are doing almost whatever they want.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is kind of
Yeah.
crazy in a bit.
Um, what's your dream car?
Ah, dream car. Well, I'm gonna go back. I had a
Uh,
car when I was like 3 or 4. Obviously, it's a little thing. I'm gonna go with a red Jaguar, the original red Jaguar with the Jaguar sitting on top of the front of the
okay.
hood. So I'd go with that.
Okay.
And yeah, that's something. If I ever see something down the road for a couple grand, I I think I'd jump on
Okay.
that.
What are your thoughts on the EV car? I've experienced it, drove one. What do you think about those?
I haven't. My clients
Mhm.
have. I remember there was that 2035 uh, deadline about getting everybody. So I'm okay with EV. I want the hybrid. I still want gas. I don't want to get caught in the Everglades or anywhere on a highway with it. Listen, I tried an electric lawnmower 10 years
Yeah.
ago, and I'm telling you, had those two big stupid things in their
Yeah.
batteries, and I'm like, I need at least 45 to 50 minutes to do my
Yeah.
yard, and that right there, like when it conked out, like that's horrible, and I don't want that for a car,
Gotcha. Yeah.
right? I know, and I got clients that work for Ford, and they were going to demo the whole place here in just outside of Toronto in Oakville, make it all electrical. Now they've kind of changed their tune a bit.
Yeah.
So I think it was a good move because look at all the billions of charging stations you need to
I
put
know.
up
There's not enough of them.
in the
Yeah.
next in the next
And
10
then the
years if you're going to
technology
do
gets
that.
better and faster, so like they're going to be outdated. So we can keep replacing them. every
And
so.
then what do? You put all these batteries in a landfill.
Yeah.
I mean, there's repercussions to
Yeah.
everything,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So
Um,
yeah, no.
if you could go back in time, what age would you want to be at if you could live? What age?
Oh, I'd probably be like 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably be 16. Just playing things out, a little differently. Just because I mean that's kind of why I was kind of coming out of my
Hmm.
shell, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I I'd go back, kind of do things differently with high school and things like that, and just. But it's different. You can go back, but are you going back with the same knowledge of what you know now, or are you still going back rough, right? But
Same
I
knowledge. Yeah.
I'd go back to
Yeah.
16.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, do a little Back to the
All right.
Future.
um, you got a favorite field trip as a kid that you remember?
Uh, yes. My high school. I don't want to call it field trip, but
Yeah.
we had the grade eights went to
Okay.
Boston, and in grade 10 we went to Quebec
Okay.
City. And you know what? That Boston trip was fun. Went to Fenway back way back in the day. It was kind of stupid because back then we had to wear uniforms, which was
Okay. Yeah.
stupid. But I mean, we changed that in grade 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a good time. It was a grade 8 road trip to Boston.
Okay.
Yeah, it was funny. You got to see all that stuff. I was a Celtic fan. Went to Harvard. Obviously the Fenway Park way back in the day, right? Like I'm going 40 years ago,
Yeah.
but it was fun.
Do you remember who
That
played
was
in
my
that
favorite
game
road
back
trip.
in the day? Who was in that game? Who played?
I got to tell you, it was the Red Sox and the
Okay.
Royals. And listen, I jump to Toronto to see the Blue Jays. I go to Detroit sometimes. I go here, there. I got to tell you, out of all the games that I've seen, I'm watching the Royals like 75% of the
Right.
time. It's always the Royals.
Well, here.
Unbelievable. And then which, which is funny because when I lived in Omaha, we were the farm team of the Kansas City Royals. We
Okay.
were the Omaha Royals.
Okay.
Yeah, and it just stuck in me. I go, we used to go to NASCAR in the '90s, about 4 or 5 straight
Yeah.
years, and one time we just said, "Oh crap it, let's go see a Tiger game. Just sit in the
Yeah.
bleachers, in the outfield. Who we playing? The Royals."
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah,
like me. I think I see the Padres a lot out here. Padres a lot. And then for some reason, it's always been a Padres game a lot. So
now the Padres, are they giving up?
I don't think so.
Like
I
they
think
kind,
they're trying to see if they can get by again, and maybe they find another player. Um, you know,
I'm telling you, I thought they were the best team last year.
yeah,
I mean, the Dodgers squeaked by those
yeah.
guys, but I found
I thought
when they're
uh,
rolling, they're rolling.
if I looked at them, I thought maybe they could beat them, but they just playoff time came and maybe just the pressure with it, but it's definitely changed. So
Yeah. Well, what do you think of all
mhm.
sports that baseball has a 5 game first series?
I mean, yeah, seven should be everything, but they do five, I think, because of maybe the history, but seven you do, but I think, and then the arms pitching wise, they're probably thinking,
Yeah.
but the best of five, the best team doesn't always win. But I mean, I always looked at that
Yeah.
too. Why is not always 7 games, but they've done the 5 and 7.
I know that's been a Dodger killer because when you have like whatever a first place team and a seventh place team, and you got two great pitchers, I mean, and all you need is 3 games to beat the top
Yeah,
guy. I mean, those are great odds. Those are the best odds in any
yeah,
playoff in any sport.
mhm, yeah.
So
Um, okay, your generation, you said you're Gen Z. What was it?
Gen
Gen
X,
X.
Gen
Okay.
X.
So how do
Yeah.
you feel about the technology with kids today, and then they call it chat GPT and stuff? How do you feel about all that stuff being around?
Well, I mean, I got a couple Gen Z kids here,
Yeah.
born in 2001, 2005. It's funny, me and the wife are iPhones and they're like
Mhm.
they're Androids and they don't want to touch my shit. They don't want to we don't like that crap. My kid's in IT,
Yeah.
right? So, which is funny. The technology, I mean, yeah, you have to embrace it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't lean too much on ChatGPT too much. I mean, I
Mhm.
should. I look it up for more Googling stuff. I am kind of old school with my with um with my listings and stuff. I mean, some of the stuff, it can help you out with the property
Yeah,
description
yeah,
and stuff, right? And it's helped me out too. Like I'm also launching. I got my coaching program started. I got a coach, and I arranged my coaching program because I just think, and it's called the reality coaching model because I mean, I deal in reality. I always have. I mean, me and you, we're not going to call 1,000 people this month.
no,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
There's other ways to get things done that are just more realistic, and that's what I'm focusing on. But using technology, I mean, we have a great brokerage here, so it's not as if I need to do everything from scratch. I mean, you pay for it, but you give some stuff to the staff, and then they can put something together and
yeah,
work a little work a little Canva and stuff. But the technology's been it's been good. I mean, you just got to pay for it, right? I mean, we used to do photo shoots for $89. You
no,
know, now if you want those, now if you want those stills and the eye guide or Matterport and drones, I mean, you could have $1,000 right there.
yeah, true,
I
good
mean,
point.
and in our MLS system, we were only allowed to put 10 photos. Then they went to 25 photos. Now we're allowed 50 photos,
Yeah,
right? So and now you could do it. Now these like the one company that I use, she'll make you a YouTube video. She'll put it in YouTube, and then she'll put it into, mobile, right?
yeah,
Extra 80, $90 right there. But sometimes you got to do it. As the one thing that I'm doing is I like everything on my phone because when I'm on my phone, you get it here, then you can go to LinkedIn or YouTube or
hmm,
whatever. Some of this crap that I don't like is when you got to download it on your desktop
yeah,
and feed it from there. I like to I like to find the best way to download it in my photos on my
hmm,
phone, and then
yep,
I'm just having fun because I put myself on, like, I overdo it a bit. I'm on, like, maybe, two Facebooks, three Instagrams, all that,
yeah,
threads and stories and
yeah.
posts and reels, Pinterest, X,
Are you on
LinkedIn.
TikTok yet or no?
Oh yeah, I'm on
Okay.
there. Yeah. Now the one thing about TikTok is I think they sometimes you got to go way back and start deleting some videos because apparently it holds a lot of memory, holds a lot of
Yeah.
memory space. So yeah. And there's different things like that. When you get something, maybe you splash in Facebook this week and TikTok, Instagram next
Yeah.
week, right?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So,
Uh, you got a movie you recently watched that you liked that was good or bad?
yeah, probably that Tattooist.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a bit of a history buff. If I would have stayed another year in university college, I probably would have minored in history and psychology. Psychology probably would have helped me more in real estate, right? But yeah, that the tattooist that looked pretty real. It had like the straight garb
Yeah.
and like the real stuff. They had to when they woke up in the morning, they had to line up to go to the bathroom, and just how they just 3, 4, 5 years, and they just went back home. So this husband and wife, they were in there, they survived, and then they go back, and that 4 or 5 years of trauma, you just can't go back to watching TV and everything's fine and making dinner.
Yeah.
It just messed them up, and probably they got divorced, and it was just I don't know. Now people that say that they don't believe in what happened, you know, that's that's a bitter pill to swallow. I can't take that theory.
Yeah. Are you Apple or Android guy? Yeah.
Apple. We're Apple. Kids are Androids.
Kids are Androids.
What are
That's
you gonna
true.
do?
Are you see?
Kids are Androids, and they every time I get them to fix my phone, they get mad.
Oh.
They go, "What are you doing? What are you doing with that crap?"
Oh.
I go,
So,
"Just
so your
fix
kids
it."
have Androids?
Sometimes, yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah, 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 Android, Samsungs, whatever they have, and
Yeah.
it's a Samsung,
Yeah.
right? And it's just when I used to fix some stuff for my dad, and then now I'm just giving it to them. I go, just fix it, please. He fixes my computer and
Yeah.
whatever, and just he's a whiz. I don't know how I created him, but he knows what to
There you
do.
go.
Yeah.
You want to share a tip of the week, business tip or success tip?
Uh, what did I have? Um, you know what? Let me see. I made some notes here,
Okay.
Paul.
That's good.
Um, yeah, here it is. It was That's it. Here's my tip, because I'm part of a coaching group,
Yeah,
and then we once a week, however many people pop in, 10, 12, 15, 16.
yeah,
So I had two issues. So I had two issues in the last week. One was this: we couldn't sell this one, my one client's
mhm,
house, and we are coming to the bitter
yeah.
end. And, we basically had to go from 749 to 649.
Wow.
Right. And so if you don't know an answer, just talk to someone, ask someone, like, even if it's you across the country, like, Steve, what would you do here? And then I had a tenant, that may leave, kind of maybe give me the screw job, whatever. But I pitched it to them, and they say, Larry, how about if you offer them this form, the old cash for keys, as we do up here, right? So my tip is, don't, if you think you have two or three solutions, just ask someone else. Ask someone in your brokerage, ask friends or something. Just ask somebody, because people just take it at a different angle. And now I feel a little bit better about my tenant, because if she leaves, I say, or if I cut her a break, I'm going, I'll cut you a break, but you're going to sign this form that says you're leaving at this date, and this form supersedes the stuff. Because up here in Ontario, like, Steve, if I'm renting to you and you don't pay me, it's going to take me 2 to 3 months to get rid of you,
Yeah.
maybe 4 to set up a hearing,
And
right? But if you get this form signed, you don't, you supersede all that crap, because she voluntarily told you she was leaving on this date. So there's just my tip: ask people, ask more people. Don't think you got it figured out, because we can't hold all that knowledge. There's something that we're missing. We know
yeah,
it, but we just can't grab it. We forgot about it.
good one.
So that'll be my tip, bro.
Cool. Who do you want to sit down and eat with, dead or alive? You can pick somebody. Who would it be?
Oh, fine. We had this in my coaching club about 4 months
Okay.
ago. I, I listen. You can sit down with, like, a president, or Hitler, or all these guys, but they'll probably just friggin' lie at you,
Yeah.
right? I, you know what? And I said I'd probably sit down with Jesus, order some
Yeah.
water, and then see what happens.
Okay.
See if you can turn that water around,
Cool.
make it alcoholic. But I don't think he'd lie to you, and I think the fact that you prove that to others or whatever, that he's alive, I think that settles a lot of issues in this world.
Yeah. What about if you're stuck in an elevator?
Talk to me.
If you're stuck in an elevator, who'd you be stuck in an elevator with?
Oh, stuck in an
Yeah.
elevator. Ooh.
Was that your coaching call or no?
No, that one wasn't. Oh man, I don't even know where that was. I think I stumbled on that
Yeah.
one. No, I put Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. Okay. Yeah.
I put Larry Bird down, because you know what? You know what's disappointing in this life, especially when you're a kid, when you love a team, and then you find out. I mean, like, listen, you're a Warriors fan, right?
Mavericks, Warriors, second team. Yeah. Okay.
Mavericks.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to the Mavericks, right? And then you just find out that Luka Doncic is a total prick.
Yeah.
Like, he's an ass. It just deflates you,
Yeah.
right? So, listen, I know Bird was the hick from French Lick, didn't talk to Magic. He was me against the world and stuff like that. Then there's rumors that he had a baby out of wedlock, and he's not owing up to it, and things like
Yeah.
that. As long as people that I trap in my elevator are going to tell me the truth, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I just want to know, because he was a gem. Bird was great,
Okay.
unbelievable.
Cool. Good answer. Um, I know you got a few favorite sports teams and players, but let's talk about your hockey team. And you got a college team, and a couple teams you want to name and players that you like for those teams.
Well, I mean, from my time in Quebec, when I was 7 or 8, I'm a diehard Montreal Canadiens fan.
Mhm.
So even though we had that COVID trip to the Stanley Cup,
Yeah.
it's been downhill since then. But we got some guys up there. We finally, like Cole Caulfield. I know he's a small little
Yeah.
dude, classic shrimp on the Montreal Canadiens, because we never have those big little Joe Thornton guys, right?
Yeah.
We always have these munchkins and stuff. So they're finally putting it together. I think they're turning it around. And I see now, just cutting to college. I got, I lived in Omaha, Nebraska. So I follow the Cornhuskers. Again, they've been out for about 20 years, but now you got that quarterback, the Patrick Mahomes clone
Uh,
down there. You know, he kind of just zings the ball like him. If he can just hold on and stay in college, I think he can. Him and Mr. Rule there can turn the Cornhuskers, back. I mean, they were itching. They were this close to the top 25,
yeah,
right?
they're getting
So
better. So yeah.
they're getting better. So I mean, I think this is the make or break year. They have to cement themselves
Uh,
at least, uh, between 15 and 25 in the polls.
okay. Did you watch wrestling as a kid? You have a favorite wrestler growing up?
Yes. But I gotta tell you, my wrestling used to be on
Mhm.
in Omaha before football started,
Okay. Yeah.
right? So, and me and my brother, we'd always just wait for the midgets because they would always do it. They would always put the midgets in the hour.
Yeah.
But back then we had Jesse Ventura was up. He was in there. Jesse the Body and Adrian Adonis were in there. And then, you kind of get out of it, obviously in the 80s in high school and things like that. But when things really heated up in the 90s, when, WCW, I think they had 83 straight weeks over Vince
Yeah.
McMahon in the
Yeah.
polls or like in the ratings. That was some hot stuff, bro. You had banging Monday nights and Thursday nights.
Yeah.
And Vince was getting pissed, and guys are coming back and forth. I'd have to say, my favorite one was always Stone Cold Steve
Okay.
Austin.
Cool.
But what a time in the '90s to be in wrestling.
Oh,
That probably the golden age.
yeah. No, I remember that as
That
a
was
kid
unbelievable.
watching those guys, NWO Hogan coming over, and then Ramon and Scott
Yeah,
Hall. Yeah, Goldberg, all those
yeah.
guys.
I mean, Andre was this. He was out to fade,
Yeah.
but he was still in the WrestleMania 3 in
Yeah.
Toronto. So
Yeah.
it was that was that was a high time there for
Yeah.
sure. And then I think I got out of it. I think it kind of slumped in the 2000s a bit, and now we're back, and we've been back for about 10 years
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
What advice would you give yourself at 12 years old?
Save money.
Okay. Let's
Yeah.
go on.
I mean, I think I was one of those. I was one of those ones that just just bought stuff
Yeah.
and just spent what I got,
Mhm.
right? It just, I mean, I know you're 12 and 13, but now I look at my kids and I didn't even train them. But I mean, I never worked when I was in school. Okay. Like my kids did. I'm like, well, I don't, they didn't get this from me. They must have got this from their mother.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Like after school, 2:30, they'd even walk to the one job that another parent had. And it's just like, wow, I mean, they got some money in here. They're going to need it too, because, I don't know what they're going to buy. Circling this back to real estate, I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, my kids are Italian. They're probably going to be like me. You're going to be home till 30 years old, but maybe these guys can be home to, maybe they'll be home to 33.
Yeah.
Right? So we'll
Cool.
see.
Um,
We'll see what happens.
how long have you been a homeowner for? What do you like about the city you live in? I know you moved a couple times, but where you're at now and stuff and all that.
Yeah. Well, I moved with my parents, and then when I bought, I've been a homeowner for 24 years.
Mhm.
So started off in a little city, Grimsby, and just outside of Hamilton, Stony Creek. Then I moved into Stony Creek, where my wife was from, just suburbs of Hamilton,
Okay.
right? So yeah, so about homeowner for 24 years. One thing that I liked, whether the last place I was with my parents, Grimsby and Stony Creek, I need to be near the highway.
Okay.
I'm I'm impatient as it comes. I'm not one of those guys that when you get off the interstate or the freeway or the
Yeah.
highway, yeah, you got another effing 30 minutes of driving. No, no. Wherever I was like 30 to 2 minutes
Oh,
away, 30 seconds to 2 minutes away from the highway. So that for me is key. I don't mind the hum of the highway either. Just it drowns out any neighbor screaming or any dog barking,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So plus plus it's like natural white noise sometimes too, right?
yeah.
So that's something that I like. I always need to be near the highway. And plus for me, I can get to Toronto in 45, and I can get to Niagara Falls in 35. I can get to Buffalo in less than an hour,
Wow.
right? So I'm like I'm pretty centrally located there in that little golden horseshoe if people look at it in the map.
Cool.
So
Cool.
yeah.
If you weren't working your current job, what would you be doing for work?
Oh gosh, I think you had stumped me on that
Did I?
one. I don't know. I just oh, what question was that,
That
bro?
was number 21.
Great, I left it
Did
blank.
you?
Um, well, I know what I would like to have
Yeah.
done. I'd like to be a little bit of a supporting actor, a little comedian guy,
Okay. Yeah.
just
I
kind
can
of
see
stuff like that.
comedian
That's
you.
kind of
You could be a comedian guy.
yeah. I just I just so here was my biggest business decision so far this year. I paid this company to get me on Google,
Oh,
kind of get me on the top of Google, Hamilton
yeah, yeah.
Realtors, blah, 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 paying them whatever. And then it's like, okay, well, it actually works, but it's not feeding me anything. It's got like, I gave him 6 to 8 months. So then I ended up, this little company was always back channeling me. So I just signed up for it, like, I don't know, $40 a month, like for casting calls and stuff like
Okay.
that. Right. So I say, you know what, let's kind of work on my little dream here. I don't, nothing may happen,
Yeah.
but, never know what
Oh,
happens, you
I'll
know.
follow up in a couple weeks or months and see how it goes. If I see on TV. So, all
Maybe,
right.
maybe.
Cool. You got a favorite video game or board game?
Uh, well, my wife doesn't want to play Monopoly with me anymore because last time that happened, the board went upside
Okay.
down and shit was all over the place. So I don't, I try to contain it, but I don't like to
Yeah.
lose. I was when I was very small, good in checkers. I'm not like Fahad. I don't know how to play chess,
Yeah,
but
he's a big chess guy.
checkers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Me, it was checkers. Now, people just like crazy eights or something like that. People fool around with checkers. Do you get a king? Can you go backwards? Do you double up? Can you do whatever you want? So you
Yeah.
got to make sure the rules of checkers are set. But yeah, that checkers have always been. I mean, when I was 7, I was beating people that were
Oh,
30.
wow.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah, checkers. I have my little thing with.
Okay.
So keep it simple. Just like our Atari, the one little stick and the one red button,
Yeah,
that's all we
yeah.
had. And our football games in Atari, they went up like this, not like side to side,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
telling
You
you.
got a drink of choice?
Right now, Tom Collins. Yeah, right now, Tom Collins. I was a big beer
Yeah.
drinker.
What's in it, Tom
Any Canadians
Collins?
listen to this one?
What's in it?
Gin.
Okay.
Gin, and then something blue or green. I don't know, blue Caraco or
Okay.
whatever,
Yeah.
something in there. I can't
Yeah.
remember. But when I went on a cruise 2 years ago, and I said, "Yeah, just light me up. Just put it in there." It's a you know what it's nice when it. But the thing is, when you make it
Uh-huh.
sometimes or you order it,
Yeah.
some people they're almost like sangrias, right? Sangria is probably my second one.
Yeah.
Sangrias can come to you and they can come to you in different forms because everybody's somebody might coconut it, somebody might orange and raspberry
Yeah.
it, um, and I find I don't know about you, but a lot of people I know getting to my age they can't do the wine anymore.
Oh.
You know, it just goes. For me, it's red wine no more because it just stuffs it up here,
Yeah.
and some people wine in general just the nasal cavities get all clogged up, which really sucks because where I am from me to Buffalo, you enter into the Niagara winery
Uh-huh.
area because we have the escarpment over here and you have the flatland here and you have this mountain like this where it really can't freeze because the escarpment's protecting the bench
Wow.
and we have a lot of Niagara wineries and the big thing now is these guys are having outdoor bands, they're having restaurants. I was at one last night and now things are warming up. Yeah, the wineries in Niagara, I know, I'm not going to tell you, I mean California is probably the king of it all,
Yeah. We got
but
some nice ones here.
but the Niagara wineries are good, which leads to my last one because we're again talking about Trump and all that stuff. I don't know if saw any of those videos, but all our liquor stores were just taking all the American stuff off the shelves.
Oh no.
We're we're not even selling
Oh
it,
wow.
right?
That's wow.
I know you don't want to get
Yeah.
political, but I mean, from what I've heard, I mean, Trump just needs to position himself globally,
Yeah.
and I think all this tariff crap that he threw at Canada and everybody else, he's gonna peel it off.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to give him something. We're gonna have to give him something, which is fine. Just it's just the tactics, right? He's a businessman. The one thing that I never liked about politicians is they were never accountable to the money. They weren't business people. They'd spend $2 billion on this, and if it didn't work, they would do this. Or, Steve, you're head of physical education, but we're going to make you minister of
Yeah.
finance, and f all about numbers,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? So I think he's obviously tipped towards the other scale, but the other guys, the politicians, know nothing about business. He's all about this and gets frustrated when he doesn't get what he wants. But if we can have somebody that just knows about business and that's accountable with the money, so in that way, he's not bad,
Yeah.
right? And plus, when you listen to him, I mean, he's pro America. Just we all know how he is with his mental space or what he's trying to do is, but you can't disagree sometimes on how he wants to protect your
Yeah.
country.
Gotcha.
You know,
You got a guilty pleasure you want to share with us?
yeah, Italian food,
Okay.
food, food in general. Like Stevie, like I'm telling you, like I don't drink
Yeah.
anymore. Well, I do, but whatever.
Yeah.
It might be 3 a month, 4 drinks a month.
Mhm.
I had a Caesar last night. Um, Drugs, maybe the odd gummy once in a while, but that my thing is food. That's Food is my demon, and being Italian and stuff, breads
Yeah.
and pastas, and I just sometimes I just can't control
Yeah.
myself, right? And I just have to watch. You're gonna get to that age where your sugar or your cholesterol is all of a sudden going to be like up the charts,
Uh-huh.
right? So that I gotta start polishing that off or just slowing down.
Okay.
So anything, l- lasagna, carbonara, whatever, just load it up, bro.
Cool. You got a favorite emoji?
Yeah, the poo emoji.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've heard that one quite a
yeah,
bit.
that's
Yeah,
a.
it's a funny one. uh,
What's yours?
well, I mean, I like sending the fire a little bit, and then the rose one. That was
Okay,
fun.
how do you feel? How do you feel when me and you are going back and forth, and you and your client are going back and forth, and then you make a statement, and I give you the old thumbs up? What do you think about that?
It's good. I think it's positive. So I think it's a good statement.
Yeah, I mean, I think it acknowledges that you read the guy's
Yeah.
comment. It saves you by saying, "Okay, I
Good.
agree,"
Yeah. Yeah.
blah blah
Yeah.
blah,
No, it's good.
right? But a lot of people hate it.
Oh.
I said, you know what? For me, it's a quick thing. It's been acknowledged. We're all good.
Yeah. Um, Nominate someone to be on the show that'd be a good guest I could reach out to. A couple people.
Oh, did you see this helmet here, Steve?
The Cowboys? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
There you go. Oh, and there's my Star Wars. There's the Death Star,
Okay.
and there's some. Speaking of the guilty pleasures, there's some
Good.
Parmigiano Reggiano
Okay.
cheese.
Gotcha.
Oh, and here's every. Oh, here, COVID. Since COVID,
Yeah.
you have your
Tripod.
tripod
Yeah.
and your selfie stick, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who'd be a good?
Sorry, I missed that
So
question.
who'd be a good person to nominate on your show?
On
On
your
my show?
show?
Yeah, my show.
Uh,
Okay.
you know what? I've been following it
Yeah.
more. Um, and you're doing a good job. You're being very proactive because I have this in my phone. Start a podcast, start a
Yeah.
podcast. But you just and I ended up signing up. But do you remember Derek Bixler from Clubhouse? Kind of a YouTube Google guy.
Maybe. You're gonna look back. Yeah.
He said I actually called him last year for some Google YouTube advice, and you know what? You sent your thing in there, and I've been trolling you and say, listen, when are we going to do this? And then Bixler's doing something. I'm
Yeah.
going to do his podcast in May. I think doing more. I guess the bigger names, the better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, if uh, find out who your audience wants to see.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know what are we 4,000 miles
Yeah.
away, but
Yeah.
just find out where they want to go, or we're like what they want to see. Like you had did you have a basketball player on
Yeah.
recently?
St. Mary's guy, Tion. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 He's
I
good.
mean, listen,
And a couple
some
guys.
people
Yeah.
want, some people want, yeah, some people want to hear some
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah. I'll do
You
that.
know,
Cool.
right?
And then something on the bucket list.
Oh, something on the bucket list. Well, I did the cruise 2 years
Uh-huh.
ago. You know what? I think the bucket list is kind of what we talked about. I want to do something. I don't know if I got the guts to do stand up,
Yeah.
but maybe just some little small acting role or
Hmm.
something. My voice is okay. I mean, I could carry a tune,
Yeah.
but I don't know. That's kind of a bucket list. We went to dinner last night, and one of the ladies was sung "Happy Birthday," and it was like a very good voice. And then I asked her to sing a song afterwards, and mother of two, and kind of COVID kind of killed her teaching career,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So I'm thinking, oh my god, okay, all right, you know what? I don't give this girl $70 for an hour. If she could teach me something. That's kind of on my bucket list. So,
Okay.
because half of us in Clubhouse, we were all performers, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so how we follow you, Larry? I know you're on social media and stuff, but give your taglines and how we be in touch with you and stuff. And you're out there.
All social media outlets. I tell everybody just Google Larry Paletta, and my cell phone is right
Okay.
there. I tell my family, I go, buddy, my cell phone is. I'm the only family guy that my cell phone is on the internet, and I'm on all social media, whether it's Team Paletta or Larry Paletta or Larry Paletta Remax, 1L 2 Ts. Four Instagram things: Facebook Personal Biz, Pinterest,
Okay.
X, LinkedIn. And what's the last one? The
TikTok. Yeah.
TikTok. Oh, and then YouTube. YouTube. One thing I did while we were in Clubhouse back in
Yeah.
2021, and that's where I started. You talked to people that were into TikTok and stuff, and they said post 3 things a week, and you got to hit those stupid algorithms and shit like that.
Hmm.
So I try to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay.
But listen, it doesn't have to be my noggin in the
Yeah.
video. Like, you know, um, went to an Italian restaurant last week up near Fort Erie, Buffalo, and you just kind of like, you kind of get the phone and you just kind of just do all the food that they brought you, all the apps and stuff.
Yeah.
And honestly, Steve, you know how it is. We can dish out great information, right? Like I'm doing a video as soon as we're done about offer sale of property offers. People don't understand what that
Yeah.
means, but I might get like 20 people watching it, but then I'll show a picture of me eating lasagna, and then I'll get 1,000.
I know it's crazy. Yeah.
Or you get a duck in a
I'll
raincoat
put it.
walking through a puddle.
I'll put a golf reel out there and I'll get like 20K or 2,000 views. It's crazy. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's the weirdest thing that go viral, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I went into the Wahlburgers in Toronto, did a video like 10 years ago, and it's just like,
Yeah.
really, that's what you like? But you have to mix it up. Make it make it 60 business, 40 personal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could do whatever ratios you want. Just make it. Now, one thing I wanted to ask you is because you really jam your stories hard,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah. I do.
sometimes you might have 30 in a
I
bucket,
know.
right?
I.
I know for me, I know for me, my rule with
Yeah.
stories is I never want the 24 hours to expire.
Yeah.
I always want something, yeah, people that are out there listening, just pick something, have a goal that your story, you won't have a dead story.
Yeah.
It will never be black. Always have something. But you got like 40 going on in this thing.
I know.
It takes me an hour to get through your thing sometimes.
No, I cover a lot of stuff with it, but yeah, people. Oh, my brother tells me I'm spamming people, but I mean, I'm trying to get people engaged and stuff, but it works. I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
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 So
Now, what area are you?
I'm
Are
in the
you
Bay
are
Area,
are
so
you
East Bay, Water Creek, Pleasanton. So like we're about a little pocket from San Francisco, about 40 minutes from the city, and then about 40 from San Jose, Silicon Valley. So right in the suburb is East Bay. We call ourselves, yeah, but Bay Area,
now are you considered
yeah,
NorCal?
yeah, yeah. We're NorCal, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
SoCal starts when you get
All
to
right.
like Bakersfield, Fresno, all that area. Yeah. So
Okay.
we got Central Valley, SoCal, and then you got South Bay. So yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right on.
Cool.
Right
Um,
on.
yeah. Oh, okay. So, got any questions about the market? Reach out. I know Larry's out here in Canada. I'm out here in the Bay. From all the small rider. Any final thoughts, Larry, before we get off here?
Hey, listen, just don't. I don't know. It's tough to say don't listen to the media and don't read the papers,
Yeah.
but if you're an active buyer in this market, I think in all of North
Yeah.
America, I think really look at serious of pulling the trigger. I know rates aren't the best, but rates can always change. It's what you paid for the house that doesn't change.
Yeah.
So if you can buy a house for 600 now with a little bit of a higher rate, what about buying that house for 700 next year with a lower
Yeah.
rate? Your mortgages, you have to think about the amount of your mortgage as opposed to
Yeah.
what your rate is. And it's
Yeah.
tough. Listen, it's tough. But I see with our last rate drop, we had a lot new buyers, a lot of showings I had on my listings. They were like, wow, this is the first or second time that they were looking, so they're still green.
Yeah.
Right. So I see them falling off the fence, which is good. They just gotta pull the trigger. Cause I don't know about your area here. I mean, Southern Ontario, Golden Horseshoe, I mean, we are a condo, like
Well,
we
I
love our
tell my clients
condos.
is date the rate, marry the house. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
And that's, it's a lot easier done, I've said, than done, because the prices since COVID have, I don't know. Well, I know in Hamilton, our prices have tripled in the past 15
Yeah.
years. So if you could have got a house you could have easily got a house for 250 back then, and now you're looking at 750.
Mm.
So even though the rate's small, I mean, it's difficult. Like we were talking about my kids and stuff. I don't know what that next generation is going to do. But in saying that, now they have like the baby boomers. There's like trillions of dollars, at least in Canada. It's probably millions of trillions of dollars down to that just wealth. People just taking over their parents' house.
Okay.
You know, so
Cool. All right. So from on the spot, we're out of here. Catch you on Spotify. We're on there too now and everything, YouTube and stuff. So we'll see you, and we're out of here. All right, Larry.
all right, go Dodgers.